guys, it's Cece, and it is TBR time. Today I am sharing with you all of the books that I plan to read in the month of August. Well, not all of them. Some of the books that I plan to read in August. And, you know, I didn't do great on my July TBR, considering how much I read. I missed a few books on that TBR, so first we should probably talk about those that have moved on to a new month. First of all, I still need to finish my reread of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. It was my plan to finish the entire series in July, and that just did not happen. I got distracted by Booktubeathon, obviously, so yeah, I am currently reading The Battle of the Labyrinth. I am just starting, but I'm very excited about it. These always go super quickly, so I should be finishing that soon, and then I really want to read The Last Olympian. So yeah, definitely happening in August. These are priority. Must finish these in August. Also carried over from last month is another review book, and that is The Girls by Emma Cline. I said I was going to read this last month since it came out last month, and then I got distracted by other review books. So yes, I will be getting to The Girls. I must get to The Girls this month. Maybe I'll read it on my ride to California because I get slightly less car sick when I'm reading on a Kindle, so maybe that'll happen, but it must happen. Okay, so now we can talk about some books that weren't on my TBR from last month that I would really like to get to. First of all, we have Becoming Nicole by Amy Ellis Nutt. This is a nonfiction book. It is about a family. There are these two identical twins, and one of them comes out as trans, and it is about her transition as well as their family in general. I've been very, very curious about this book. I feel like I haven't read enough queer nonfiction, so I'm very excited to start on this one. I also have a new release, and that is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. This is her new YA book. She came to Utah last month, and so I met her, and apparently I got a bunch of stuff falling out of this book. So this, when I went to meet her, it came with temporary tattoos. They say human and monster on the bottom, but also I got it signed. You see? There's the signature. This is a YA book about a world where monsters exist, and there are two lead characters. One is a human that really wishes she were a monster, and then one is a monster who has a deep desire to be human. This book also has no romance. Victoria Schwab has promised no romance, which is awesome. I really, really needed to hear that. And it is the first part of a duology. The second book is This Dark Duet, I believe is the second one, but duology, awesome, no romance, awesome, Victoria Schwab, awesome. And I'm very, very excited to get to this one. It is getting fantastic reviews, and it also hit #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, which is great. So very excited to get to this one. I really also would like to get to How to Buy a Love of Reading by Tanya Egan Gibson, turning me super yellow, so I switched sides. So this is a book that I've had for over a year now. I've been really trying to get through some of my TBR books that have been on this shelf for way too long, so I really want to get to this one. This is just literary fiction, I want to say. It sounds kind of silly. It's just about this girl who has never liked a single book she's ever read, and so this town works together and they decide they're gonna find someone to write a book just for her that she'll love. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but I've had it for a while, I'm super curious about it, and I need to get some of these older books off of my TBR shelf. This month I also need to read Room by Emma Donoghue. This book has appeared because it is my mom's copy. She adores this book and she's been trying to get me to read it for a long time, and then while I was doing research for my thesis, I decided that I kind of wanted to write about this book as well, because one of the books I'm using is Gone Girl, so I want to use this book as well. And I'm stealing her copy for like 9 months now. The most that I know about this book is that it is about a boy, and the only place he has ever known is this room. That is the world to him, and he and his mother live there. And I know a little bit more about it, but I don't want to share because I don't know which elements of that are spoilery, but I'm incredibly excited to get to this book. I've wanted to read it for years, and I'm so glad that I have a reason to push it to the top of my TBR now. And I have one more book. You guys were all waiting for it. I was waiting for it, I caved, and I went and bought it. And the book that I have at the end of my TBR here is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I've been talking for a while about the fact, at least on Twitter, that I haven't felt a lot of motivation to read this book. I already know most of the plot. I looked it up because I was curious, and because I have said also that I don't like that J.K. Rowling has continued to add to canon. I just don't like it, and so that is why I was hesitant to read this, and then I found out the plot, and I was even more hesitant. But everyone's reading it, and I want to be able to talk about it in an informed and critical way. So I have decided I'm going to be reading these scripts for parts 1 and 2 of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. However, I am going into this basically, I don't want to accept it as canon. I don't really want to see this as the 8th book, and that's how I'm gonna go into it. So I am very sorry if there are people out there who really love this play. I love the original series, and that is where I want to leave canon. I also don't really think about a lot of Pottermore in my own head as things I accept as canon. That's kind of where I put this. But that's where I'm at. I bought the book, okay? I did it. I actually went out and I bought the new Harry Potter book. Let's see how this goes. So guys, there you go. That is my August TBR. I am very curious to see what everyone's going to be thinking of Cursed Child. I have already read a ton of reviews of a lot of booktubers who read it in one night, bought it, went home, read it, and I've seen a lot of people disagree really, really strongly. I've seen a lot of really high reviews, and I've seen a lot of really low reviews. I've seen a couple in the middle. So I'm very excited to see what everyone else thinks. That has been something that's been really interesting to me going forward. As I know the plot, I've been really curious to see what other people, what they think about that plot. Anyway, that is it for my August TBR. Let me know down in comments what some of the books you're going to be reading in August are, as well as what you thought of some of these books if you've read them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye!